Good morning. What a treat this is to be able to get up here and talk to you all this morning about some things that are really, really important to me, and I hope you'll find them at least mildly interesting also. So first, I need to let you all in on a little secret and ask a favor. I was actually raised by two fiercely atheistic parents, so the fact that I'm here doing a church sermon needs to stay between us, okay? Thank you. I appreciate that. And I am kidding, not about the atheistic parents. As some of you know, one of the hats that I wear is serving as the Sustainability and Outreach Director for the Gathering of the Vibes Music Festival in Connecticut each summer. The event was just last weekend, and I find that each year it takes me a little longer to recover. So forgive me if I seem a little slow still or lapse into any strange sounding festival stage banter. I'll try to avoid that and keep this nice and civilized here. I also serve as chair of Sustainable Saratoga, which is a not-for-profit organization that promotes sustainable practices and the protection of natural resources through education, advocacy, and action. And I own a financial advisory firm here in Saratoga called Sustainable Wealth Advisors, which helps individuals and small institutions align their money with their values and their missions. While these are clearly very different roles, discerning listeners may be picking up on a common thread, which is, of course, sustainability. While sustainability has become a bit of a buzzword, and I think for all of us who have been around for a while can think of all these terms that have come into vogue, and then we seem to hear nothing but them for years at a time. It really truly, though, is a powerful and life-affirming principle, which I think is critical to our future. So let's spend a few minutes exploring this concept. Now, I don't typically go around quoting the EPA, you might be relieved to know, but I think their definition of sustainability actually nails it pretty well. Sustainability is based on a simple principle. Everything that we need for our survival and well-being depends, either directly or indirectly, on our natural environment. Sustainability creates and maintains the conditions under which humans and nature can exist in productive harmony that permit fulfilling the social, economic, and other requirements of present and future generations. Sustainability is important in making sure that we have and will continue to have the water, materials, and resources to protect human health and our environment. And now from Sustainable Saratoga's core values. A sustainable community is one that protects the benefits of natural resources, both local and global, while maintaining a strong local economy. The International Institute of Sustainable Development puts it this way: sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. It contains within it two key concepts. This concept of needs, in particular, the essential needs of the world's poor, to which overriding priority should be given, and the idea of limitations imposed by the state of technology and social organization on the environment's ability to meet present and future needs. All definitions of sustainable development require that we see the world as a system that connects space and a system that connects time. When you think of the world as a system over space, you grow to understand that air pollution from North America affects air quality in Asia, and that pesticides sprayed in Argentina could harm fish stocks off the coast of Australia. And when you think of the world as a system over time, you start to realize that the decisions our grandparents made about how to farm the land continue to affect agricultural practice today, and the economic policies we endorse today will have an impact on urban poverty when our children are adults. We are very fortunate here in this congregation to have a dynamic and visionary Green Sanctuary Committee, and many congregants, many of whom are here today, who are active on a range of local sustainability issues. One of Sustainable Saratoga's current projects is called Bring Your Own Bag, or BYO Bag, which is working to ban single-use thin film plastic bags. Ann Samuelson is co-chairing this group, and several other members, including Pat McAvoy, Audrey Belt, and Jen Pratt, have been working on this effort. We also have a very active housing and urban planning group, which advocates for sustainable development and smart land use policies in the city, as well as an urban forestry project, which, among other accomplishments, partnered with the city to develop our first urban forest master plan. Our Climate and Energy Committee, chaired by our own Bill Bemke, is working on a number of exciting initiatives relating to clean and renewable energy and is currently exploring a community solar project. One of the members of this committee also spearheaded a pending project to build a 1 megawatt solar array on the closed Weibel Ave city landfill. We now also have a team studying the feasibility of a car sharing program that's currently gathering survey data from various community groups, including seniors, low-income housing residents, and seasonal track workers. On a related note, Bill McKibben, author, he hardly needs much of a description from me, but author, 350.org founder, and a speaker here at least once, if not a couple times, in the past, is going to be speaking at Northshire Books on Thursday evening at 7 o'clock. And Sustainable Saratoga was really proud to have been asked to participate in this event and have a table there to help get the word out about BYO Bag, climate and energy, and the Climate Ride, which is a 5-day, 300-mile New York City to DC bike ride in September that will raise awareness about the urgent need for quick and meaningful action on climate change, and to raise funds for various nonprofits, including Sustainable Saratoga. Our young, ambitious, and hopefully very, very fit staffer, Sam, will be among the riders. Thank you, Sam, for your willingness to do that. It's going to be some great stories. Speaking of our congregational involvement and commitment to sustainability, I'd like to spend a few minutes reflecting on our seventh principle: respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are a part. It would seem that our UU forebears had a pretty good handle on this sustainability thing. While this clearly has profoundly important environmental implications, it's so much more than that. As Reverend Forrest Gilmore, Executive Director of Shalom Community Center in Bloomington, Indiana, states, "It is our response to the great dangers of both individualism and oppression. It is our solution to the seeming conflict between the individual and the group." Our seventh principle may be our Unitarian Universalist way of coming to fully embrace something greater than ourselves. The interdependent web, expressed as the spirit of life, the ground of all being, the oneness of all existence, the community-forming power, the process of life, the creative force, even God, can help us develop that social understanding of ourselves that we in our culture so desperately need. It is a source of meaning to which we can dedicate our lives. For me, Reverend Gilmore's words are extremely powerful and inspiring, and I think that he has articulated a critical and often missing dimension to sustainability: people. This isn't just about numbers and science. It's about our extended human family. The messaging of the sustainability movement has often missed this vital connection and allowed its critics to paint it as hostile to the interests of people just trying to get by. Of course, nothing could be further from the truth. Ignoring principles of sustainability when planning and making decisions puts these very people's futures in peril. Getting back for a moment to the music festival, some of my role there relates to on-site greening initiatives to reduce our carbon footprint and divert as much material as possible from the waste stream, which, when you have a 4-day event that has 20,000 people per day plus and 10 to 12,000 people camping is no small thing. Just trying to responsibly deal with what comes from that size gathering. The other component, though, is community outreach. We just held, and that's in my title. Community outreach is one of the things that I focus on. So we just held a food drive, and this was, by the way, just this past weekend. We collected close to 8,500 pounds of non-perishable food, personal hygiene items, and clothing, which is being distributed to struggling families in Bridgeport, Connecticut. During one of the band's sets on Sunday, Mo, for any jam band aficionados who are here, we collected almost $2,500 during one song, admittedly a fairly long one, which will go to a local nonprofit that provides free one-on-one musical instruction for kids, local kids in Bridgeport, who would otherwise never have this potentially life-changing opportunity. I was also able to arrange for $1,000 matching contributions from a foundation and from the event itself, so this little thing that we did ended up raising about $4,500 in 10 minutes, which was a pretty magical thing to be a part of. As the director of this nonprofit said when I spoke to him on Friday, this pays for a lot of music lessons and instruments and is a real potential game changer for these kids. We also brought 9 speakers up on one of our stages to do brief talks between bands on various sustainability and social issues. 16 nonprofits, including 2 solar buses, were given space and promoted on our website and through our social media so they could share their work and message with our attendees. We added 160 new members to our Carbon Cutters team that is working together to reduce our carbon footprint by accepting a series of very manageable challenges like line drying clothes, walking or biking to work, that sort of thing, which cumulatively add up to make a huge difference. This group, now 900 people strong, has already prevented almost 2 tons of carbon from entering the atmosphere, and we're really just getting started. While I'm very proud of this on-site sustainability work, what really resonates with me is the people and community connection side of all this. So again, from the International Institute of Sustainable Development. We also understand that quality of life is a system. It's good to be physically healthy, but what if you are poor and don't have access to education? It's good to have a secure income, but what if the air in your part of the world is unclean? And it's good to have freedom of religious expression, but what if you can't feed your family? It is indeed an interdependent, complex, and fragile web, but I think we have the will and the resources to make some major strides now. So, for all of you who are now raring to go and wondering how you can get involved, there are some very timely volunteer opportunities which I'll mention quickly. Sustainable Saratoga's BYO bag team is gathering signatures for its plastic bag ban petition in advance of their presentation to the City Council this fall. Should be in late October. I'm sure they'd welcome your help on this effort. I think we will actually have a few petitions circulating after the service for anyone who's interested. There are other members, as I mentioned earlier, there are members of the group here if anybody has questions on all this. Our climate and energy group is evaluating the possibility of joining a Capital Region community solar initiative, which would require the help of several enthusiastic volunteers if we take this on. We actually just started doing a community survey at yesterday's farmers market to make sure we have a good handle on how people in Saratoga are viewing solar. I'm sure Bill Bemke would be happy to answer any questions related to our climate and energy work. We'll also be having a community meeting on October 14th, 7 p.m., tentatively slated for the Union Avenue campus of Empire State College, to update our supporters on these and other issues, and to give folks a chance to meet and talk with other people who share these interests and concerns. It's truly an honor to have been asked to share these thoughts with you all this morning. I've learned so much from so many of you and really appreciate the spirit of solidarity as we tackle some pretty daunting issues. I hope you share this excitement and are willing to embrace the possibilities that we have at our fingertips.